And this is 8th class mode of reproduction in animals అనమాట. సో హియర్ viviparous and oviparous animals అంటే ఏంటంటే the animals that lay eggs do not have the epidermal hair and external ears. The animals which lay eggs are called oviparous, while those which give birth to their offsprings are called viviparous అనమాట. In class 7 you learned how the seed germinates and grow into plant. The process of living beings producing its offsprings is called reproduction. This is one of the basic life processes like respiration, digestion. This is the essential for the continuation of the species. Let us try to understand the modes of the reproduction. Modes of reproduction in animals. Animals reproduce both sexually and asexually. We had already studied how potato, biofilm and chrysanthemum reproduce. It was asexual mode of reproduction in plants. Now we shall see how animals reproduce asexually. Asexual reproduction. Generally in our surroundings we see most of the organisms has male and female forms, but in lower organisms this differentiation is not seen. In some animals the formation of gametes does not take place, still they produce offsprings like themselves. As the formation of gametes does not take place, there is no question of fusion of gametes. Such a process of reproduction is called asexual reproduction. Do you know the animals that reproduce asexually? Perhaps you have not seen such animals, but they do exist. Some of these are Amebia, Paramecium, Hydra, etc. Observing of a budding in Hydra, get permanent sites of different stages of budding in Hydra. Observe them under a microscope. Look out for any bulges from the parent body. Count the number of bulges and also observe the difference in the size from one side to the next. Also note the size of the bulges. Draw the drawing of a Hydra as you see it. Compare it with the figure given below. Budding in Hydra. Recall what you have observed in the first slide. Compare slide 1 and 2. Observe which part of its body develops a swelling. Observe all the remaining slides. What did you observe in slide or a picture 1, 2, 3? What is the main difference between slide 1 and 2 as well as 3 and 4? What did the swelling bulge part develop into? Hydra. A microscopic organism reproduces asexually. In each hydra, there may be one or more bulges called buds. In class 7, you learn about the budding in yeast. In hydra, new individuals develop from the buds. This type of asexual reproduction is called budding. Does gametes and zygote form in this type of reproduction? Why? Write the similarities and differences between the budding in yeast and hydra according to your observations and draw diagrams given in the text. Now let us study this process in another organism. You may have seen the following diagram in your previous classes, that is the amoeba. This microorganism is called amoeba, lives in fresh water. Its body is made up of a single cell and hence it is called the unicellular organism. Observe the slide of an amoeba with the help of microscope and also observe the diagram. Are you able to see distinct round shaped organelle in its center? Do you know what is it? Ask your teacher what function does it perform. Observation of binary fission in amoeba. Observe the given diagram carefully and fill the following table. This first one and second, third, fourth and sixth one. Binary fission in amoeba anamata. So first diagram, second, third, fourth, fifth diagram, sixth diagram. How many amoebas are formed here at the ending? And after the nucleus gets divided, after the division of the nucleus in the body divides into two, thus a single cell, the two daughter amoeba, thus it becomes non-existent. This type of reproduction in which the reproduction reproduced by dividing into two cells is called binary fission. And one single cell divided into two cells, that is the binary fission anamata. Or budding and fission method of asexual reproduction in animals same. Budding and fission, these two methods only are the asexual reproduction modes in animals. Sexual reproduction. In the chapter on reproduction in plants, we have also studied about the process of sexual reproduction in plants. In this process, pollen grains produced in the pollen sac reach the stigma of the flower, where they germinate. A long tube is formed from the pollen grains that reaches the ovary. The male reproductive cell of the pollen grain travels down this tube to the ovary, where it fuses with the female reproductive cell. So sexual reproduction is basically the fusion of male gamete with the female gamete. Do you know from where the male gametes and female gametes are produced in animals? In animals also sexual reproduction occurs by fusion of female gamete or ovum and the male gamete or the sperm. The body is formed thereafter is called zygote. You have studied in class 7th that formation of zygote is very important to give rise to offsprings. Observe the male and female pumpkin flowers. Collect any male and female flower from your surroundings. This is the parts of the male flower. మేల్ ఫ్లవర్లో ఏముంటుందంటే ఫిలమెంట్ యాంథర్ పొలెన్ ఉంటుంది. ఫిలమెంట్ యాంథర్ అండ్ పొలెన్. అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫీమేల్ పార్ట్స్ అనమాట. ఓవరీలో ఓవ్యూల్స్ ఉంటాయి, పైన ఉన్నది స్టైల్ స్టిగ్మా. దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫీమేల్ ఫ్లవర్ ఆఫ్ ద పంప్కిన్. Male reproductive system, you might have seen a crow giving birth to a cow giving birth to a calf. A she goat gives birth to a lamb, and a woman gives birth to a baby. Have you ever thought about the role of the male in giving birth to a baby? Let's recall how seed is formed from a flower. It is formed only from ovary. Do pollen grains play any role in the formation of seeds? Fusion of pollen grain and ovum is essential to form a seed. Likewise, a male produces sperms, which is quite essential for the reproduction. Here we will see that the reproductive system of a male. Here that first one is seminal ducts అంటే ఆ ట్యూబ్స్ లాంటివి సెమినల్ డక్ట్స్ అంటాము. నెక్స్ట్ ఈ రెండింటిని టెస్టిస్ అంటాము, మధ్యలో పెన్నిస్. మేల్ రిప్రొడక్టివ్ సిస్టంలో మనకి మేల్ గ్యామెట్స్ వచ్చేసి స్పర్మ్స్ అంటామంటారు. స్పర్మ్ యొక్క స్ట్రక్చర్ వచ్చేసి పైన హెడ్, మిడిల్ పీస్ అండ్ టెయిల్, ఇట్లా 3 భాగాలు ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. సో దాని మిడ్ పార్ట్లో మైటోకాండ్రియా అంటే ఎనర్జీని ఇచ్చేటువంటి మైటోకాండ్రియా కూడా ఉంటుందన్నమాట. నెక్స్ట్, the male reproductive organs are studied just below the abdomen. It includes a pair of testes in plural, two sperm ducts, also called the seminal ducts, and a penis. The testes are egg-shaped and produce the male gametes as sperms. It is connected with the pair of seminal ducts through which sperms travel and ejaculate out with the help of penis. Millions of sperms are produced by the testes. These are microscopic and single-celled. Each sperm has a head and middle piece and a tail. The head bears a nucleus. It gets energy from mitochondria present in the middle piece. Can you imagine the purpose of the tail of the sperm serves? Female reproductive system. The female reproductive organs are studied inside the abdomen just below the navel of women. It contains a pair of ovaries. Oviducts are also called the fallopian tubes, uterus and vagina. See the figure 9. The ovaries lie inside the abdomen in the hip region of the body, one on each side of the uterus. Each ovary is placed just below the funnel shaped opening of the fallopian tubes. The ovary produces female gametes called ova, ovum in singular, or eggs. In human beings, a single matured egg is released into the oviduct by one of the ovaries every month. Uterus is the part where development of the baby takes place. Vagina is the passage in the body of the woman or female animal that connects the outer sex organs to the part where the baby grows womb. The ovum is surrounded by an outer covering. A nucleus floating in a cytoplasm is found in the center of it. Female reproductive system. This is the vagina and uterus, ovary and oviduct or fallopian tubes. And this is the sperms trying to enter the ovum. Here after entering it, then the fusion of the ovum and sperm fertilization. Fusing nuclei. This is the cytoplasm. Fusion of the ovum and sperm fertilization given below. Male నుంచి testis to sperm, ఫీమేల్ ఓవరీ ఓవ్యూమ్ అనేది వస్తుంది. స్పర్మ్ అండ్ ఓవ్యూమ్ కలిపిస్తే మనకి జైగోట్ టు ఎంబ్రియో టు ఫీటస్. Then the fusion of sperm and ovum takes place, which is called fertilization. During the fertilization, the nuclei of the sperm and the ovum fuse to form a single nucleus. This results in the formation of the fertilized egg or zygote. Internal fertilization. For internal fertilization, it is necessary the sperm to reach inside the body of the female. Some arrangements for the ensuring this is present both in the male and female bodies. This type of fertilization occurs in different organisms like insects, snakes, lizards, birds, and mammals, etc. Observe the diagram of the female reproductive system and say where ovum and sperm have a chance of a fusion. Development of the embryo. This zygote formed after fertilization divides repeatedly to give rise to a ball of cells. The cells then begin to form groups that develop into different tissues and organs in the body. This developing structure is termed as an embryo. The embryo gets embedded in the wall of the uterus for further development. The embryo continues to develop in the uterus. It gradually develops body parts such as hands, legs, head, eyes, ears, etc. When the embryo develops fully and other parts are distinct, it is called fetus. The period which from which the zygote fully develops into fetus is called pregnancy period. Usually after completion of this period, about 270 to 280 days, a baby is born. This is called gestation period. Now you can try to fill the blank boxes of a flow chart in the previous page. What would happen if fusion of a sperm and ova does not take place? Why do animals give birth to their young babies? Think what would happen if all the animals stopped giving birth to their babies. Fertilization takes place by fusion of gametes from mother and father. Does it affect the resemblance of the offspring with their parents? Test tube babies. You might have heard that in some women oviducts are plaqued. These women are unable to bear babies because sperms cannot reach the eggs for fertilization. In some men, defective sperm production and low sperm count is observed. In such cases, doctors collect freshly released egg and sperms and keep them together for few hours for IVF or in vitro fertilization outside the body. In case fertilization occurs, the zygote is allowed to develop for about a week and then it is placed in the mother's uterus. Complete development takes place in the uterus and the baby is born like any other baby. The babies born through this technique are called test tube babies. This term is actually misleading because babies cannot grow in test tubes. External fertilization. The process of fertilization that occurs outside of an organism's body is known as external fertilization. The frog reproduction will occur in the outside of the body. Life cycle of the frog to all young ones offsprings resemble their parents. In class 7th, you have learned about the life history of the silk moth. Does the lore of the silk moth resembles in is its adult? The young ones of some animals resemble their parents and some do not. When they emerge from eggs, such animals undergo process called metamorphosis. Meta means beyond, morphic ante form. Thus the transformation of the shape of the body occurs during the development over a period of time and only then they begin to resemble their parents. Have you ever seen some fish like farms swimming in a pond? Refer to the figure 14 to identify them. These fish-like forms are called tadpoles. Like this, tadpoles అనమాట. 14th one, figure 14, ఇది tadpole and fish-like structures, but these are not fishes. Have you ever observed frogs in the uh, position in such position as figure 15? The figure shows the copulation or physical interaction between male and female frog leading to external fertilization, usually during the rainy season. External fertilization in frogs usually occurs in water. Copulation, this is the and release of eggs and sperms. Project work note, this project work needs patience and carefulness. Teachers and students should be cautious while doing this project. Care should be taken at the time of collection of eggs of frogs from a nearby pond or a slow flowing stream. So if eggs are not available, you need not worry. You can start your project after collecting tadpoles. Step 1. Stephen, they go to a nearby pond or a slow flowing stream where usually sewage stagnates during rainy season. Collect a few eggs of a frog with the help of a white-mouthed bottle as shown in the figure. As shown in the figure 18, while collecting eggs, take care that the clusters of eggs are not disturbed and isolated. The eggs of a frog in a pond, eggs in a pond అనమాట. Next, to conduct this project, you required wide mouth transparent bottle or tub, transparent glass dropper, petri, some pebbles, magnifying lens, beaker. Next, step 2 వచ్చేసి after collecting eggs, take a tub of a 15 cm depth and a radius of 8 to 10 cm. Transfer the eggs along with the weeds and algae that you have collected from the pond into the tub. Carefully observe the eggs. You will find a blackish spot in the middle of the eggs. These must be the fertilized eggs and the blackish spot is the embryo. Step 3. Observe the tub daily and note down the changes in your observation book. Draw the organisms after observing for at least once in 3 days. You may take the help of the following table and do record your observations. Next, step 4. To observe the tadpole, take a transparent glass and fill it with some water taken from the previous tub where tadpoles are preserved for observation. Take a plastic dropper and fill in some water along with a tadpole. Pour it in a watch glass. To observe the tadpole, you need to take the help of a watch glass or any other glass bowl. Step 5. Try to answer these questions after your observations. How many days did it take for the eggs to hatch? How does the tadpole look like? When did you find gill slits in a tadpole? On which dates did you observe heart, intestine, bones, rectum, hind limbs, forelimbs? Step 6. Having observed hind limbs, keep pebbles in the tub as shown in the figure 20. It is for accommodating tadpoles to settle out side for some time. It is essential in this stage as the respiration through lungs start. Set up for late tadpole. Now try to answer the following questions. When did gill slits disappear? When did the tail completely disappear? How many days did it take for a tadpole to transform into an adult frog? Do you know some animals like earthworms are neither male nor female? They carry both male and female reproductive organs. Such animals are called bisexual. Animals are also called hermaphrodite. Some animals like earthworm are neither male nor female. They carry both male and female reproductive organs. Such animals are called bisexual animals or hermaphrodite. Write a note on what you learned about the external fertilization. Give some examples of other animals in which external fertilization takes place in water. So you have studied different modes of process of reproduction. These are not only a way how the animals reproduce. Besides this, there are also some other modes of reproduction. You will learn about these in your neighbor higher classes. Story of Dolly the clone. Story of the Dolly the clone. Cloning is the production of an exact copy of a cell, any other living part, or a complete organism. The cloning of an animal was successfully performed for the first time by the Wilmot and his colleagues at the Roslin Institute in Edinburgh, Scotland. They successfully cloned a sheep named Dolly. Dolly was born on 5th July 1996 and was the first mammal to be cloned. Dolly was born on 5th July 1996 and was the first mammal to be cloned. Film Dorset sheep, first one. Next, Scottish blackfish ewe, Dolly. Next, first one. During the process of cloning Dolly, a cell was collected from the mammary gland of a female fin Dorset sheep. Simultaneously, an egg was obtained from the Scottish black ewe. The nucleus was removed from the egg. Then the nucleus of the mammary gland cell from the fin dorsal sheep was inserted into the egg of the Scottish blackfish. Face whose nucleus had been removed, the egg thus produced was implanted into the Scottish blackfish. Even development of this egg followed normally, and finally Dolly was born. Though Dolly was given birth by the Scottish blackfish ewe, it was found to be absolutely identical to the fin dorsal sheep from which the nucleus was taken, since the nucleus from the egg of the Scottish blackfish Eve was removed. Dolly did not show any character of the Scottish blackfish Eve. Dolly was a healthy clone of the Finn Dorset sheep and produced several offsprings of her own through normal sexual Unfortunately, Dolly died on 14th February 2003 due to the certain lung diseases. After claims of Dolly, several attempts were made to produce cloned mammals. However, many died before the birth or die soon after the birth. The cloned animals are many a time found to be born with several abnormalities. Thank you for watching the reproduction in animals class 8th. Thank you for everyone.